5 years just so I could substitute teach for a week. Now, we got so much to talk about, so let's get right to the headlines. Now look, there's so many pressing issues in the world right now. The war in Ukraine, a train derailment in Ohio, natural disasters in Turkey. But we can't talk about any of that because apparently the biggest story in the newspaper is on the comics page.
Newspapers across the country are dropping the Dilbert comic strip after its creator, Scott Adams, went on a tirade this weekend calling Black Americans a hate group and advising white people to stay away from them.
The Dilbert creator referencing a poll that indicated 53% of Black Americans agree with the statement, "It's okay to be white."
If nearly half of all blacks are not okay with white people, that's a hate group. The best advice I would give to white people...
Finally, someone's fucking saying it. All black people are actually doing a hate group. I love that. What a bold state, dude. What a bold sentiment. What a bold statement. Finally, someone is defending the whites. Oh, my God.
To get the hell away from black people. You just have to escape. So that's what I did. I went to a neighborhood where, I have a very low black population.
Oh, my God. He just kept going. He's like, black people are a hate group. White people should stay away from black people. I stay away from black people. And Kanye heard this and was like, whoa, my brother, pace yourself. By the way, Scott Adams, why do you have a podcast? You have one of the most successful comic strips in the world, but you're podcasting at youtube.com/Real Coffee with Scott Adams? Like, why? Bro, you got rich off of doodles. Take the W. Be happy. The guy who created that cool S thing from middle school wishes he could be you. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It's been a minute since we talked. And I've rubbed shoulders with the Illuminati. And I've noticed one thing about a certain type of rich person. When they don't have problems of their own, they have to just make up problems just to make their lives interesting. Right? They're just like sitting at home in the jacuzzi like, what if I tweet about trans high school swimmers? I can guarantee you, J.K. Rowling had zero opinions about trans people when she was on welfare. By the way, this is why I think we need a wealth tax. We need a wealth tax, not for infrastructure or schools, none of that Bernie shit. Rich people, this is for your own good. The wealth tax is actually a shut the up tax.
Bro, this is literally structured and delivered like a HasanAbi Piker joke. I feel like I would literally verbatim say this. I feel like I have said this. It's crazy.
Spend more time working, kissing your loved ones, getting groceries, being a normal person. Because normal people don't hate black people. We're all too busy hating that one squeaky wheel on the shopping cart. But let's move on to one of the greatest debates of our time. No, I'm not talking about how much cocaine a bear can do. I'm talking about the COVID origin debate, which is heating up this week.
And this just in, an updated classified intel report saying that the U.S. Department of Energy has assessed that the source of the COVID-19 pandemic likely came from a China lab leak. But there is one major caveat. Sources at the Department of Energy tell CNN that the report has, quote, low confidence.
Low confidence? How can you conclude something with low confidence? That's not a conclusion. I think the word you're looking for is guess. By the way, conclusion with low confidence is such a boy move. You know what I mean? Like you're dating someone and they go, babe, what are we? And you're like, Sarah, I can tell you for sure, I don't know. Now, even though they had low confidence, the Department of Energy came out and said COVID was a lab leak. And now every idiot I went to high school with is like, apologize to me right now, Hasan. I told you I was right, and if your hand is bigger than your face, you're gay. Now, to everybody touchdown dancing about this, how long have you been rocking with the Department of Energy? Oh, you've been with them since day one? Hey, what's your second favorite report from the Department of Energy? Now, personally, I love their report on walk-in freezers and coolers, but hey, that's just me, because I'm a real one. But here's the key detail everybody's forgetting while they got the Twitter fingers. The Energy Department is one of 9 intelligence groups that have assessed COVID's origins. 2 have said lab leak, 5 say it came out of natural causes, and 2 say they don't know. And you know what?
That was a Northern Line joke? No, that is a me joke. I've made that joke about trans swimmers. I made that exact same joke before. Like literally, oh, you care about trans swim meets? Who's the second person? Who won second place? You don't even know who the cis woman is that like lost to the trans woman.
Personally side with them.
But again, it's like, look, I'm not seething because like, who cares? It's like basic shit.
I don't know what the is going on. FBI says this, NIC says that. I'm holding out until the DMV chimes in. Okay? All right? Now, here's the thing I'm wondering, okay? Why did this whole lab leak versus wet market thing become the Yankees versus Red Sox of the culture war in the first place? And to me, I think it's because when some people started saying it came from a lab, other people were like, hey, you can't say the Chinese are trying to poison everybody on planet Earth. That's racist. You should say COVID came from a wet market where Chinese people eat weird animals. But that sounds way more racist. And I say this as a kid who had to eat weird ethnic food in the lunchroom. Every day I'd pull out my keema roti and everybody else would be like, ew, what is that? All I wanted was Lunchables. But my mom would never buy them. She'd be like, Hasan, are you crazy? You want Lunchables? Those things are made in a lab and they'll kill you. And she said that with high confidence. Now, for more on the lab leak, we turn to my friend, colleague, and mortal enemy, Ronnie Chang. Ronnie! My man! Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Look, let's get right into it. Where did COVID come from? Tell us.
What the f? How the f should I know? Why are you asking me, by the way? I didn't do it. We could be talking about the debt ceiling or racist Dilbert, but of course you want to pigeonhole the Asian guy to do the COVID story.
Yes. 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 I'm going to pigeonhole you. You want to know why, Ronnie? Because when I was a correspondent, I was pigeonholed.
Yeah, he had to cover all the terrorism stories. So now Ronnie has to cover the COVID stories. Technically, also Hasan is also Asian, so.
My hole was pigeoned constantly.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it was. Anytime there was a subway bombing, they went to the Muslim guy, as if I'm on group chat with ISIS. My most viral clip on this show was a photo of me wearing a hijab next to Jon Stewart. You understand? So yeah, the Asian guy has to cover the Asian story, and it has to be funny, and it has to be deemed comedically acceptable by vulture.com. Go.
Okay, first of all, Vulture, all right? And second of all, why don't you talk about it? You're the expert in lecturing us about the world despite never having left America, right? Aren't you Asian too? You talk about it.
No. You said it yourself, Ronnie. You said it right here on this show, that Indians were not real Asians. Why don't you roll the tape?
Let's be clear. Indians are not Asian, okay? Okay? I love how Indians try to have it both ways, like being Indian and Asian. Pick a lane.
I brought receipts, mother.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
how about you keep your receipts for one of your 50 Air Jordan shoe boxes, all right? Yeah, I said it. You didn't have to roll the tape, because I'll say it again right now. Indians are not Asians. And by the way, I'm more than just Asian, all right? I also live in Australia, so why don't you ask me about kangaroos?
Fine, Ronnie, tell us about kangaroos.
All right, well, I'm glad you asked. Well, there's red giant kangaroos, and then there's gray ones. And the red ones can jump 10 feet high, and they have claws that can rip your dick off.
Okay. This stuff is like, all right. The rest of this is like kind of wackadoo. Let's get back to the story itself. So the Energy Department analysis concluded with low confidence that the coronavirus pandemic probably began with an accidental lab leak in central China. This is not the first department that the government owns. It's not the first government agency that has came out with a report that's similar. Okay. So unfunny, to be honest. No, like there's funny parts and then there's not so funny parts. Jealous from the real funny Hasan? Yes. I'm jealous. No, I love Hasan Minhaj. I wish him all the success in his career. It took a long time for me to get to where I'm at in my career in political satire and political comedy, and you know, so I don't mind it. But there would have definitely been a time. There would have definitely been a time when I would have been seething with jealousy. Even though he is a very nice guy, it would be, you know, I would admit it though. It comes from insecurity. But now is not one of those. It's no longer that time at all. Anyway, the irony is, I think the Patriot, the like his Netflix show was better. Like his Netflix show was demonstrably, in my opinion, better than the Daily Show. Anyway, whatever. But yeah, as far as the Energy Department goes, they say it's probably an accidental lab leak in China. Republicans at Capitol Hill are teeing up new demands for information and broadening their planned probes of COVID-19's origins. For the most part, this is just about, I mean, you know what it's about. It's people desperately looking for an I told you so moment. Okay? And because it corresponds to like anti-Chinese sentiment, the American government will do it. Like they'll give you that I told you so moment, even if it's like incredibly reactionary, and even if it's technically self-defeating for the interests of the government, whether it be controlling epidemics, pandemics, or you know, whether it be establishing truth and maintaining confidence within the government. What I'm saying is they'll cuck themselves in an effort to say that like China is responsible for this. I've also never seen what the Energy Department, like I don't know why the Energy Department is talking about this, because it's like, it's weird. It's weird for the Energy Department to cover this. Like, why are you in the Energy Department covering this? Like, I don't understand. What? The fuck does this have to do with energy? Anyway, but that's different. Let's continue. The classified report remains a minority view among those, the 9 intelligence agencies probing the pandemic's origin. Most of which still favor the theory that the virus naturally spilled over from animals to humans, the zoonotic spread. I mean, I don't give a fuck about like the intelligence entities, by the way. I do care about like the scientific community's, you know, pandemic epidemiologists and like the scientific community's analysis on it. And that has continued to favor the zoonotic spread theory, which is precisely why I will maintain the position that it's this is a theory, just like the zoonotic spread is a theory. And the more likely theory is the one I assume is the one held by the majority of scientists that know this process, and not like a random department. The U.S. Department of Energy National Virtual Biotechnology Laboratory is a consortium of DOE national laboratories. I guess this is why. I guess that makes sense. But yeah, regardless, don't understand why they have a say in this process, but I guess they do. And good on them for coming out and revealing the truth. Coronavirus traces found in March 2019 sewage sample Spanish study shows. It confuses me that the start is put on late 2019 in China when there's published paper confirming it was in Spain in March 2019. It also confuses me that they tried this already. People often forget that the first government agency that said that this was probably a Chinese lab leak, or the first people that came out with it, were not like individuals. Like, they weren't like independent journalists. It wasn't like Jack Posobiec or some shit. It was the fucking State Department. Like, immediately after COVID happened, they were like, oh, that's a lab leak, dog. That's definitely a lab leak. And at the time, it certainly was going against like the understanding. It was certainly going against the scientific consensus on the matter. And it was a hypothesis regardless. It was a theory. It was like, just like the lab leak was a theory. The zoonotic spread was a theory as well, but it was the working theory. It was the one that most people were on board with. Okay? So I don't give a fuck what Eric Weinstein is saying. It's not like he came up with it. The State Department came up with it. Okay? And then they also extended it from lab leak to like, well, that means it's man-made. It's a bioweapon, blah, blah, blah. All this like crazy shit. So them unrolling this one more time and unveiling it one more time as like a low confidence theory from yet another agency is weird because they've done this already. But, you know, it'll get the chuds chirping regardless. It wasn't only reactionaries. Intercept wrote this last May. Yes, I know. I know they did. I know. Ryan Grimm even talked about it. I know. I'm talking about the original inception, though. The original inception of the lab leak theory came from the State Department. If I was China, would rather accept the lab leak theory and just claim it was from a vaccine research safe phase. The zoo theory would just makes my country look bad in the eyes of the international community. It doesn't matter. Zoonotic spread happens all the fucking time. That's why there's a need for the World Health Organization and epidemiologists that work together. Because no matter what you say, no matter what you fucking push for, it literally doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, here, the DC's China war lobby dusting off their Iraq WMD tool to revive the lab leak theory. Going from lab leak most likely origin of COVID-19 pandemic, Energy Department now says. Michael Gordon wrote it. Michael Gordon got the plug for this story. Threats and responses. The Iraqis. U.S. says Hussein intensifies quest for A-bomb parts. There was a second component to this, which was gain-of-function research. The pandemic should make us question the value of gain-of-function research, which a lot of people have an opinion on and say they do not want gain-of-function research to happen, to be conducted. I myself am a caveman, okay? My opinion on the matter is I'm a caveman, but unlike all of the other cavemen, or unlike most other cavemen, I at least know my limitations as a caveman. So I think to myself, let the scientists figure it out. I'm serious. Like, for me, the way I understand gain-of-function research is that it's like necessary to combat like really devastating mutated viruses down the fucking line. You know what I mean? I feel like it's anti-science to be like, no, we should put a hold on science, on scientific research that is going to be increasingly more important as bacteria get stronger and are harder to combat, as we have like what's the fucking word for it? God damn it. We have like resistant diseases. We have diseases that are resistant to medicine and antibiotic resistance as a consequence of factory farming, by the way, for the record. Shouts out to the vegans on that one. There's at least like some truth there on the vegan side. Like as antibiotic resistance grows, I feel like gain of functions research is going to be even more important. And yeah, it sounds scary to me. I've seen Resident Evil. I've seen all the zombie movies, right? What happens when fucking humans go too far, yada, yada, yada. It turns into a fucking bioweapon. But I feel like because I am personally fearful of this, because of my own personal fears of this, I can't just like put an end to it. You know what I mean? Because I see the other side of it, and I see that people that are way, way smarter than me, who think that it's like the right thing to do. I'm just going to go along with the people that know what the fuck they're talking about. Anyway, regardless of whether this was even a lab leak, I still probably wouldn't push for ending gain of function research. Okay? Watch out for umbrella signs in Japan. What does that mean? And then their labs are trash and is harmful. I don't think Chinese labs are trash. I think you're operating off of like xenophobic sentiment if you think Chinese labs that are like being funded by the international community that abide by like the same protocols are actually trash. That's Umbrella Corp. Resident Evil reference. Okay, got it. I have a master's degree in bioengineering. Gain of function is used to demonstrate how natural mutations can occur to a suspected virus that can make that virus dangerous to humans. This research is useful because it tells us regions and potential zoonotic viruses to be aware of. There's debate about this in the scientific community, though. I've seen emails from folks at virology institutes thinking gain of function is irresponsible. Yeah. Yeah, careful, dog. You're close to China. No, I don't operate under the fucking idea that like Chinese labs are shit. We collab with Chinese academics in the U.S. Anyone who just straight up says China bad at academics, medical research, or just racist, yeah. Gain of function research, for those of you who don't know at this point, which is kind of funny. I don't know how the fuck you don't know what that is at this point, because it was like a big, major point of contention, and I covered it regularly, is when, this is the broadest way to describe it, but in the most reductive terms, gain of function research is when you take viruses that are out and about in the natural world, okay, in the real world, and beef it up in a laboratory in order to research it. In order to research how viruses in the natural real world could possibly become more dangerous or possibly could jump to human beings. Oftentimes through bats, because bats have like crazy metabolism. That's why you see bats a lot being like the primary responsible animal that basically takes it from one animal to another and then to human beings usually. Yeah, they have a crazy immune system. Yeah, it's called vector. So that's what that's usually what they're studying. That's usually what they're testing, just so they have some kind of anticipation. I'm not saying all labs, but a theory as to how it leaked was because the work occurred in the wrong type of lab. I am sure this isn't the only place. I'm not saying it's even labs in China. Some labs are unsafe all over the world and in our backyards. Yes. Sure. But are you saying we should kill all bats? No, I never said that. Gain of function research is not inherently bad. It's bad if you suddenly cut funding, as Trump did, and they suddenly have to cut corners. It causes accidents. Also, no, Chinese labs are not trash. China has incredible research funded by the government. Please listen to me. Chatters don't understand research and how dedicated Chinese government is to it. So, I feel like I mean, gain of function is necessary. If anybody says otherwise, they're idiots. I mean, I feel like there's more. I mean, it's more contentious than that. I feel like even in the scientific community, there's still people that think that it's not good, that it's not smart, that it is scary. There is debate on it. My bioengineering professor actually held a large debate about this a few weeks ago. Many scientists agree that gain of function research can actually lead to an increase of amount of top of the hour ad breaks. It's really terrifying how far these viruses can go. Okay, you guys are literally taking advantage of the fact that I'm jet lagged all to hell and super tired, and also in the future now with these fucking segues. That's crazy. That's 2 in a row. How do you feel? Do you feel good? You're taking advantage of an old man. You are. You're taking advantage of an old man at the top of the hour and taking away his joy by serving the top of the hour ad break instead of me. But the ad break is still here at the top of the fucking hour. If you no longer want to see it, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5. You can do that for free with a Twitch Prime. By connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you get 1 free Prime subscription a month. Use it on your favorite broadcaster. Hopefully that's me. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. Chat dick rides chat so hard that top of the hour bot is about to break from how high you're scoring. Why is your camera here better than the one you have at home? It's not. The camera I have here is not better than the one I have at home. The camera I have here is simply getting better natural light in this room. That's the reason. That segue was